I5 Jeff from Two Hacks Garage. Well, it's another cold day. Just getting ready for a couple of projects. But I have a couple little tips and tricks for you guys. Um, Almost all cars, mechanically, they function almost all identical with the transmissions, with the carburation, heads. All of that is pretty much a universal principle. But when you're diving into a new project that you're maybe not as familiar with, it is always nice to have manuals. Manuals. They kind of show you all the little parts and pieces, how they go together. A lot of them have really good exploded views, and in some cases, they even have part numbers. Those part numbers can come in really handy when you're out there and you're trying to find the correct part. You're trying to find maybe a cross-reference for a newer part, and so on. I'm a Mopar guy, but I'm working currently on a Ford. So when I started this project, even though all the basic principles are the same, I was kind of going into unfamiliar territory. So I was able to pick up the 68 passenger car maintenance and lubrication. Kind of comes in handy with a couple things. This car does have a lot of vacuum accessories on it, which I am going to eliminate. But I found the 68 vacuum schematics manual. I did find the 68 Ford and Mercury shop manual. This has a lot of good information in it throughout and throughout. And a lot of these do have the diagrams within them to show what's going on here. Even some of the basic manuals, like these old Chilton Auto Repair manuals. This is a 1972, but it covers vehicles from 1965 to 1972. A lot of these have just a wealth of knowledge in there. Even kind of gives you some specs on these vehicles, and some, in some cases, like years of identification. These do come in handy quite often. I'm also working on a motorcycle, so kind of my first motorcycle actual build. I've tinkered around with them a lot in the past, but completely blown one apart and redoing it. This is really my first one. After doing a little bit of research online, I was able to find a good manual. Kind of explains the 125 to 200cc twins, 65 to 78. Mine falls in that category. After going through this manual, it wasn't as specific as I wanted, but it was in the ballpark range where I could get things figured out. The key one I did find, even though it's a 68 Ford I'm working on, is the 67 shop manual. So basically what they did with this is they created a very in-depth shop manual for 67 cars. The 68 was pretty much identical. However, there was a supplement to that, which I do have the supplement for that here. So that's kind of this one here. So in some cases, when you look at these manuals, you want to make sure if it's not exactly your year, it might actually have a predecessor manual to that just with a shop manual. A lot of these you can still find at garage sales, bookstores, eBay. Some are pricey, some aren't. I know some of the Mopar stuff is extremely expensive, especially when you start getting into the data and parts log books and all of that. But these do come in really handy. Sometimes you can pick them up just for a couple bucks. Even if I'm out just thrift stores or whatever and I find one, generally speaking, I will pick it up because you just never know when you're going to be able to use it. I know a lot of you guys are really knowledgeable about cars. Maybe this doesn't apply, maybe it does, but they are always good to have on hand just in case. In fact, recently there's a project I'm working on with my partner with the GTO, and we're doing a lot of frame stuff to it right now, and we were able to source, like it was actually for the body shops, all the frame specs. That's helped us out a tremendous amount of work, and all those little bits and pieces of information you can gather from back in the day, it really does come in handy. Speaking of testing, tuning, manuals, figuring things out, well, not all of us have access to a track to go out, see your 60 foot, see your reaction time, see your 660, 320, 1320, all that, the eighth mile, everything. Well, that's where this comes in handy. This here's a little device I picked up last year, and it's called Draggy. So for all of us that don't have the ability to go out and test and tune on a track, there's a company called Draggy, and they use a sophisticated satellite technology that I'm not even going to try to explain. And all it is a little USB device and an app on your phone. What you do is you basically connect an app to your phone with this device. You have these little stick-on magnetic plates you can put underneath your dash or anywhere. Hangs on right there. The nice part about this is it does data log all of what you're trying to accomplish. 60 foot, eighth mile, your ET, your quarter mile, anything you really want to do with it, it does data log it. And in fact, if you want, there is a mode on this that you can go in there and actually have all that being displayed through a video on your phone. There's going to be more to come on that once the weather breaks and we get cars done and start going out and testing and tuning. So for all you guys that like to go testing in remote areas of Mexico, the coastal areas of Cuba, and the remote wilderness of Canada, guys, this might be something you want to invest in before the no-name nationals, just to kind of see where you're at when you're building a car. I'm building a car that I have absolutely no idea what it's going to end up doing in the 8th mile. You know what? It could be a monster. It could be a dog. I don't know, but this is going to really help me out. I've got a race called out. I kind of know what his ballpark numbers are just by some of his videos, but I think this is going to help me dial in much closer of where I might stand. So for all you guys out there, I'm not a paid sponsor, anything like that. It's just a cool little tool to have. You can find them on Amazon, eBay, even their website. A little pricey, but you know what? It might actually help you out. Hope you guys thought this video was a little bit informative on the manuals. And this tool does work, guys. And I will see you tomorrow.